So WWE this Sunday is putting together Evolution. Putting together an all-women's first ever grand, spectacular, all-women's pay-per-view. Glorious! Fantastic, right? Ronda Rousey, Nikki Bella, Trish Stratus coming back, team with Lita to take on Alexa Bliss and Mickie James. We got Mae Young Classic. The finals, we have NXT Championship. We got Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch, last woman standing. Things of that nature galore. But let's be honest here. As great as that sounds to some of the wrestling fans, let's be honest with how WWE has built this pay-per-view. With everything else that they have been doing on WWE television, Evolution is on the back burner. Evolution is not what's important in WWE's eyes. I don't care how they spin it. It's really not. You know what it is, wrestling fans? Crown Jewel. But we're not here to talk about Crown Jewel. We're here to talk about Evolution. Okay? And why this show is not all what it's cracked up to be. So if you are looking for somebody that's going to absolutely adore and praise this spectacular card and things of that nature, you're on the wrong channel. Go find somewhere else. I'm just telling you that now. Now, I am going to praise some of this card, but I'm not going to do it from top to bottom, okay? Just telling you that right now. First things first, though, you all know what to do. If you have not done so yet, or if this is your first time tuning in to watch me, go down below and hit the subscribe button and hit the bell for all notifications. Give me a like and leave a comment down below as well. Whether it's anything wrestling related about WWE, Evolution, Monday Night Raw, SmackDown Live, Crown Jewel, things of that nature, anything that's on your mind about wrestling, stir up a conversation. That would be much appreciated. Join me on my journey right here on YouTube. Do so on Facebook and Twitter. Also at 2007 Webby, because a lot of hard work and fun goes into all three of those websites. For you wrestling fans out there. Now, Evolution. We're going to start off with this big, huge battle royal that's taking place at Evolution. Quite frankly, WWE making it out to be spectacular battle royal. A future opportunity at a women's championship in the WWE. Now, let's be honest here. There's no doubt in my mind that a Raw competitor is going to win this. No doubt in my mind. That's number one. And number two, when you look at everybody that is going to be in it, Ember Moon, Nia Jax, you got Bayley, you got Sasha Banks, you got Natalya, you got, Miss Glow herself, you got all of them. Everybody that's on SmackDown, everybody that's probably in the WWE Women's Division roster, Raw and SmackDown, that is not in an important role They're in the Battle Royal. Most likely. And honestly, they're simply there so they can be a part of history. And that's kind of sad, to be perfectly honest. Because when you look at who the fans overall are genuinely invested in, and no, I'm not talking about what WWE has done with them, because even with what WWE has done with them, fans are still genuinely invested in these superstars of the women's division. You have Ember Moon, you have Bayley, and you have Sasha Banks. Those three on Monday Night Raw should be in that if you want to put them in a matchup. SmackDown, I guess you could put Miss Glow herself, Naomi, in it. And honestly, there's really not anybody else, because the only two they really push is, Becky Lynch and Charlotte. You can't really put, Carmella in there anymore, because she's intertwined with R-Truth. And that's a good fit for her. So you can't really do that. And I don't think anybody wants to see her back in the title picture anytime soon. So those four women are the only ones that really should be in that match, and you could put it as a fatal four-way. And quite frankly, Sasha Banks or Ember Moon should walk out victorious in that Battle Royal. That's just my hands-on pick to win it. Quite frankly, Sasha Banks is who I am going with to win that matchup. Just my pick. Trish Stratus and Lita versus Alexa Bliss and Mickie James. Now, throughout the entire build of Evolution, up until last week, it was one-on-one encounters. And then they switched it and made it tag team matchups. Honestly, according to reports, they said it was all along supposed to be a tag team match, but they needed a match to headline the show until they could get their main event set, or pretty much get past the Super Show, where Nikki Bella turned her back on Ronda Rousey. We'll get into that in a second. Now, Trish Stratus and Lita, no question they're going to walk out victorious in this matchup. However, why in the world did they make this a tag team matchup? A couple different reasons you could look at this. Number one, making it a tag team matchup kind of takes the focus also off of the singles matchups and can put more focus on Ronda Rousey and Nikki Bella. Because let's be honest here. The second match of Alexa Bliss and Ronda Rousey went longer than their first one. And we're not going to see two matches, I highly doubt, of Nikki Bella and Ronda Rousey. And if they let Alexa Bliss get some offense on Ronda Rousey, you know they're going to let Nikki Bella get offense on Ronda Rousey. And if that's the case, make that a tag team matchup so they can put more focus and hopefully fans can get more invested in their main event. That's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it, A lot of fans cringing all over Alexa Bliss's work inside the squared circle. So make that a tag team matchup, and Alexa Bliss can stand outside on the apron, and Mickie James will do most of the work with Trish Stratus and Lita tag team. Now, quite frankly, I'm just don't really care. Trish Stratus and Lita, going to be cool to see them step back inside the squared circle again. I grew up also in the Trish and Lita era, because I was a kid, during the Attitude Era and younger, before the Attitude Era as well. So I grew up around Lita and Trish Stratus. So it's cool seeing them back inside the squared circle, at least for one night. NXT Women's Championship is on the line. Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler. Honestly, somebody down below on the next two matches is really going to have to let me know some about what's going on. And I'm just going to have to be completely honest with you about that, because I don't watch NXT a ton, and as far as storyline wise and what's going on in that, I wouldn't be able to tell you too much. So Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler, I know that a lot of fans have been saying that they are going to put on some excellent work inside the squared circle, and it should be a great contest for the NXT Women's Championship. And as far as the Mae Young Classic Finals that everybody's been talking about, that should be a tremendous contest as well. So that should be great as well. Somebody in comments below, tell me a little bit more about what's going on with those two matches. That'd be much appreciated. Now, SmackDown Women's Championship is on the line. Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair. Last woman standing. This match, when you talk about the women's division in WWE, at least on the main roster. Now, I hear all the time, and I want to make this perfectly honest with, I want to make this perfectly clear with everybody out there on the YWC. I hear all the time, NXT is the A show, then you have the B show, SmackDown, and you have the C show, Raw. I hear that all the time. Let me be perfectly clear with you, okay? If you are somebody, all right, that is not familiar with NXT or that does not watch NXT, then the A show is SmackDown Live. The B show is Raw. 100%. Okay? And if you don't know anything about NXT, then you really can't rate NXT. Alright? I'm making that clear right now. And I'm making that clear right now because one of the rivalries that is helping make And it's helping make SmackDown Live the A show on a weekly basis is Charlotte versus Becky Lynch over the Women's Championship on SmackDown Live. It was by fluke. It was by accident. WWE wanting Becky Lynch to be a heel and the fans saying, forget you. We want her to be a babyface. We want her to thrive and be good and be with us. We like her little edgy character. We like her little stone cold character. But she is awesome. She is not a heel. We have been with her since day one. WWE, you're stupid for doing that. And each week, seeing these women battle back and forth over the Women's Championship and go through the Titantron and go through all these wars back and forth, tearing each other apart, makes for intriguing television. It is one of the best things on SmackDown Live today, bar none. Now, do I think that some of the other things should always take a backseat to the Women's Championship? No. Like the WWE title, I don't think that should always take a backseat to it, because the WWE title is the most important thing in the company, especially on SmackDown. But when you have a rivalry like this, what can't you say? Okay? Seriously. Last woman standing match, I don't care if Ronda Rousey is the Raw Women's Champion. She should not be in the main event. Charlotte and Becky Lynch should be. And speaking of the main event, Ronda Rousey versus Nikki Bella. Now, does Nikki Bella have a place? Does the Bellas in general have a place in evolution? Some would say yes, some would say no. Here's my stance on it. The only reason why she is in the main event is her name. It's her name. That's it. I 100%. You know, and nothing against people like Sasha Banks, Bayley, Ember Moon, Nia Jax, people like that. But you put them up there against Ronda Rousey to main event a first ever pay-per-view. WWE looks at that and they say, that's not going to put butts every 18 inches. WWE looks at Nikki Bella, or for that matter, even Brie Bella, and says, that will. They have their own show. They're connected with all these other things outside of the WWE that will draw in attention. That hopefully will put a butt every 18 inches. That's the reason. And plus, what if Ronda Rousey takes Nikki Bella and wipes her clean all over the squared circle? That'll help get her over even more. Right? Outside of that, there is no other reason. I'm sorry, Bella twin fans. I'm sorry. So, in a nutshell, Ronda Rousey will still be your Raw Women's Champion. I am looking forward to a screw finish at the last woman standing, more than likely. Probably both women won't answer a 10 count. Trish Stratus and Lita will walk out the winner. I'm not 100% sure about the NXT Women's Championship or the Mae Young Classic. As I said before, some of you helped fill me in about that. But I am looking forward to some good competition in that. I've heard a lot of good things from wrestling fans. And as far as the historic Battle Royal, one of two women are going to walk out victorious. It's either going to be Sasha Banks, which is rightfully deserved to be in that main event spot against Ronda Rousey, even though she will be fed because that title is just being held on to, kind of like Brock Lesnar held on to it for Roman Reigns. She is just holding on to it for Charlotte when she comes over to Monday Night Raw. It's either going to be Sasha Banks or it's going to be Ember Moon. That's who I'm picking for the Battle Royal. And that is Evolution. Hope you enjoyed this preview and predictions. If you did, hit that thumbs up. Join me tonight for Monday Night Raw. And until I see you again, this is Webby, and I'll catch you on the other side. Talk to you later.